Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, I'm going to do something I've not done for a little while. I'm going to tell you what are, in my opinion, the top 10 cards from Mega Dream EX. And I know I count down the top 10 cards from sets fairly often. Let's face it, I do it every set. But this is the first time in a while I'm doing it before the set is coming out, where it is a list based purely on my own prediction, rather than focusing on what is currently doing well over in Japan, because I've been spending a lot of time sitting noodling with deck lists on Mega Dream EX, and I'm getting a little bit excited. Worth noting that actually it's not going to be quite the same as our Ascended Heroes. There are probably going to be some cards cut, I've talked about that, and there's also going to be cards added in from Start Deck 100. So for instance, when we do our top 10 list from Ascended Heroes, Pokepad is going to be on this list. It may well be number 1. Just lets you search for a non-rulebox Pokemon. It's not very exciting, but it is phenomenal, and it's going to see a ridiculous amount of play. So that's going to be on the list. Quite possibly number 1. But it's from Start Deck 100 in Japan. It's not from Mega Dream EX, so it doesn't get on this list. Worth noting that Mega Electros came very close to getting on this list. I've decided to leave it off, partly because I don't think it's good enough, but also it has been removed from the booster pack for us in favour of Charizard, so there is a chance it's not even in our set anyway. But for 2 energy, it does 60 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon, and for 3 energy, you do 190, but you can discard 2 of them and get paralysis. Yeah, that's not too shabby. What does make the list in at number 10, Anthea and Concordia. This is that new end supporter card, which is probably never going to work, which is why I put it in at number 10. You see, in order to use this, you've got to have Ends Vanillux and Ends Klinklang in play, the 2 stage 2s. And Ends Darmanitan and Ends Zoroark in play, the 2 stage 1s. And Ends Zekrom and Ends Reshiram in play, the 2 basics. But then you take an extra 3 prize cards. 3 extra prize cards. Yeah. Frankly, that alone makes me want to put it on this list. No, it's probably never going to work, but it'd be fun if it did. In at number 9, we've got Mega Froslass, which is not confirmed for Ascended Heroes, but remember, this is Mega Dream EX we're looking at. And I'm not looking at the second attack here. 3 energy, 150 plus sleep, nobody really cares. But single energy, it does 50 damage for each card in your opponent's hand. I adore this. I think this is incredibly fun. It's single energy. It's got huge HP because it's a mega. And look, either your opponent empties out their hand to stop you doing damage, and that's good because now they've got fewer cards in hand, or they keep their cards in hand and you do extra damage, and that's awesome. I think we need to pair it with Chandelure. Makes each player draw a card. There is a Frostmoth in the set that makes both players draw a card, same as Chandelure, but it's got to be active, so it's not as good. And frankly, I just want to sit here evolving into Chandelure and using Froslass to do decent damage for 1 energy. In at number 8, we've got Light Ball, and Light Ball is that item card I told you about the other day, where if you attach it to a Pikachu EX, you do 50 extra damage. We've got the Pikachu from Surging Sparks, which does 300, and as I explained in great detail the other day, go check out that video. I think it's a good one. There's a link in the description. But basically, Pikachu doing 300 isn't quite enough because it misses key KOs on a lot of the big Pokemon around right now. When it goes from 300 to 350, it all of a sudden gets those KOs. Light Ball is awesome. In at number 7, we've got Stunfisk. And look, Stunfisk, not an exciting Pokemon. I'll be honest. For a single energy, you do 30 damage, stop your opponent retreating, and then next turn, all of your attacks do 100 more, not just Stunfisk. The thing is, right now, people are playing stuff like the Evil Towel from Mega Evolution so that they can stop their opponent retreating and stick them in the active. For a while, before it rotated out, people were playing Mawile, specifically the Mawile that came around in Lost Origin, which stopped retreating and then let you do an extra 90 damage next turn. This is better than that. Yes, it is for a coloured energy, not a colourless, which is a downside, but any deck that's playing the right energy, this is going to be incredibly useful. And the fact is, we've already seen multiple similar Pokemon with attacks like this seeing play. I reckon this one will again. In at number 6, we've got Tapu Koko. I'm a big fan of this Tapu Koko. It's got an attack whereby you discard your hand and you draw a new hand of 5 cards. It's fine. You can use it turn 1 going first, which means you use this, and then you use Carmine, and you use Squawkabilly, and all of a sudden, your turn 1 going first, you can draw an absurd amount of cards. A truly absurd amount of cards. And your consistency, if you want to play some kind of speed deck or even a setup deck, although you've got to be careful with all the discards you're doing, because all 3 of these cards discard your hand, yeah, you can get rolling pretty quickly using this. Now, in at number 5, we've got a pair of cards, Mega Dragonite and regular Dragonair. You see, Mega Dragonite was actually revealed at the World Championships. We saw this one a while ago, like back in August. We didn't know where it was from at the time. We now do, and we have an English scan, which is lovely. The ability for Mega Dragonite lets you switch to active on one of your bench, and then awkward attack cost 330, discard 2. But then again, it's 2 lightning and 1 other, in this case water. So what you can do here is just use this with electric, accelerate energy with electric, and then the water can be attached from your hand, because you're only ever going to need 1 water at a time, so it can just be your turn attachment. But then we got Dragonair, which says that if this Pokemon's got an energy attached to it, and yes, electric will help with that as well, then once during your turn you can search your deck for an evolution Pokemon and put it into your hand. That is excellent consistency. Put them together, we've got a nice pair of Pokemon. In at number 4, we've got Dustox, and I'm a little bit scared putting Dustox this high. This seems too high. But every time I look at this card, I cannot help but think it's going to see a bunch of play. You see, once during your turn, you can flip a coin, and if heads, you can take an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon and return it to their hand. The thing is, this doesn't have to be active, it works on the bench. And it's limited to once per turn per Dustox, but it's not hard limited to once per turn like some other cards. So what that means is you can have 2 or 3 Dustox sitting there on the bench, and flipping coins every turn for each Dustox, getting rid of an energy for every one. That is going to be good in some disruptive decks. Maybe I'm getting pulled in by the disruptive capability here. Maybe it's not actually going to be good enough. Maybe number 4 is a ridiculous place to put this. But I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, I think there's something here. In at number 3, we've got Zekrom, which is actually another card we have an English scan of, because it's going to be our Elite Trainer Box promo for Mega Heroes. It's also one of the best cards in the set, because it's got an attack for free energy, which does 70 and goes through any effects on the defending Pokemon, or for fire, 2 lightning, 1 colorless, it does 250. Now, you look at this, and the first attack doesn't quite do enough damage. It's an emergency attack, nothing more. The second attack is too expensive. It doesn't look that great. And then you remember it's an Ends Pokemon. And because it is an Ends Pokemon, it means you just use it with End Zoroark. So the attack cost becomes irrelevant, because all you're doing here is copying it for 2 Darkness Energy on an End Zoroark. At which point, End Zoroark now has a Shred attack, which is awesome, because you just put it on the bench and Zoroark can use the attacks. And then that 250 is just for 2 Darkness Energy, not for 4 ridiculous energy. And up till now, people have been using End's Reshiram for this kind of attack, because it's just got a flat 4 energy 170. Yeah, Zekrom does 80 more damage. Oh no, you can't attack next turn. We've seen a million Pokemon that can't attack next turn. It's never stopped us before. Make no mistake about it, End Zekrom makes End Zoroark a lot better. In at number 2, we've got Spectrier, which might be a little bit too high, but this one kind of seems a little bit busted. Because free energy, you discard it all and drop 12 damage counters. You know what else dropped 12 damage counters? Lost mine on Sableye, and that was busted. Worth noting, Spectrier drops 12 damage counters onto a Pokemon, whereas Sableye dropped it anywhere you like. Spectrier does have to all go on the same one. But at least until we hit rotation, we've still got Gardevoir. So accelerating free energy to just discard them again, really not a big deal. Gardevoir will accelerate the energy, and honestly, you kind of want it in the discard so you can accelerate it next turn. Make no mistake about it, Spectrier loves Gardevoir. Gardevoir loves Spectrier. They are going to be best buds. Source number 1, Nightmine. Again, we're not talking about the world's most exciting card here. It's just effective. What it says is, both players' terrestrial Pokemon's attacks are increased by 1 colorless energy. That's it. That's what it does. But all of a sudden, Dragonite is a free energy attack, and you've not built your deck prepping for that. Ceruledge is a 2 energy attack, and you have built your deck on the assumption that you only ever need to put 1 energy on the active Pokemon. Now things are getting a little bit more awkward. Charizard now has to put all 3 energy from their evolution ability onto Charizard to attack, rather than having a spare to put somewhere else. This is a stadium which is going to get super annoying, and it's going to see a bunch of play, and it's going to hurt a bunch of decks, and I think that makes it the best card in the set. So there we go. Those are the top 10 cards as far as I'm concerned in Mega Dream EX, and now it's over to you guys. Tell me which cards you like, tell me which you'd put higher, tell me which you'd put lower, tell me if there's anything that should be on this list that you think I've forgotten. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. And get shoutouts on the channel like the lovely Fawny Horvath, who's been a supporter of ours for a little while now, and seems to be lovely. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.